Hey bro, how's it going? So earlier today I was meditating, and while I was doing so, a thought popped into my head, and I thought it would make a pretty good idea for a video. I think it's an interesting dynamic that I came across multiple times during my life, and that I saw other people coming across as well. And I think that if you know about this thing, it can save you a lot of worrying and self-attack. So the way I discovered this, the way I came across this was again when I stopped smoking. And don't worry, I'm not gonna make this channel about either meditation or smoking, but it just turns out that for whatever reason I've been thinking about these two things recently. So yeah, when I stopped smoking, I told you guys I picked up this book, The Easy Way to Stop Smoking by Ellen Carr. And it got recommended to me by one friend, but just after it was recommended by this one friend to me, I had a couple of other people talk about it as well and talk about their success stories. And one of these people was one of my work colleagues. And this guy was a smoker for 25 years, and he was pretty hardcore. And what he told me is that he picked up the book and he quit after reading it, but he only quit for 2 months, and after that he picked it up again. After he smoked for 1 or 2 months, he actually went to one of these guys' seminaries, and after that he quit for good. And very interesting, I can't speak today. Very interestingly, you know what I want to say, I had the exact same experience myself. So when I first quit, I smoked my last cigarette, as it says in the book. I put it out, and I was like, okay, I'm a free man. And I stopped smoking for about, I think, 2 weeks. And after that, a couple of friends came to visit me, and they were smokers. So it didn't take a lot of temptation. I was like, you know what, dude, fuck this. This is just bullshit. I didn't quit smoking. It was just an experiment, whatever. So I just started smoking again. And I smoked for another month or so, and after that I quit. And after that I quit for good. So there is this dynamic that happens. You try to change your life in one meaningful way, you kind of give it up for a while, but then you pick it up again and the change sticks. And I find that the exact same thing happened to me when I was trying to work a bit more on my self-development. And I think that this is exactly the point in which I'm at right now. And I'll give you a short summary. So I think it was about March, April, something like that, this year, when I decided that, you know what, bro, I'm actually gonna take my self-improvement seriously. So I started meditating, I started working on a sleep routine, and I started doing all this stuff, like, you know, consistent training schedule and taking care of my diet and stuff like that, you know, like the basic self-improvement stuff, right? And it lasted for about, I don't know, a few months. Like, it lasted for a fairly long time. I think it lasted for like 3 months. And after that I kind of took a plunge, like I got kind of burned out, and I was like, yeah, fuck that. So I just started playing video games and doing all the other dumb shit, like, you know, I was watching Netflix, I was going to sleep late, I was doing all this bullshit, man, like, just fucking around. And I did that for a while. I think I did that for a month or two. I don't know, my time frames are all kind of fucked up, and I should check my journal about that. But yeah, it was a period of time when I kind of fucked it up. And then now recently I just started doing it again, except this time it kind of feels different. It kind of feels like I'm not fighting an uphill battle. And I kind of want to provide an analysis about why I think that this thing happens. So here's what happens when you try to change your life. First, let's say that you read a book, or you get inspired by some dude on YouTube, or whatever. You find something that makes you want to change your life. You feel inspired to make a big shift in your life. You're like, fuck yeah, let's go. So you stop doing something bad, or you start doing something good for yourself. And for the first week you're hyped, you're like, fuck yeah, I'm making progress, check it out. Hey mom, look, I'm actually a real outstanding citizen now, and all is good in the world. But after about 1 week, you start getting this thought of, you know what, maybe that bad behavior was actually not providing me any value. Maybe I actually kind of liked that bad behavior, and maybe it provided me some pleasure. And yeah, you know what, like, I'm trying so hard to not do it again, and you kind of feel like you're fighting an uphill battle, right? Like, you wake up and you're like, oh fuck me, I wish I could smoke a cigarette right now. You kind of start getting these thoughts, or shit, I don't want to go to the gym. So eventually these thoughts are going to catch you when you are either underslept, or you come across some social pressure, or whatever. You're gonna find yourself in a weak spot. And as it always happens when you have a small vulnerability, you just have to wait for the right time and the ship sinks. So basically you pick up the bad habit again. And the first day you're elated, you're like, fuck it, this is amazing, dude, why did I quit smoking? This is so dope. And you kind of keep doing it. Or for me it was video games. So you pick up the video games and you're like, fuck it, dude, I'm having so much fun, check it out. And then you kind of integrate in your day-to-day life, you kind of make it a habit again, right? But then what happens is that you do it every day, and again, as I explained in the previous video about the bad habits, you stop getting that initial rush, that initial adrenaline rush, and you kind of settle on a baseline. And the magic happens in that baseline, because you're doing the bad habit and you see how it makes you feel on a day-to-day basis. Except now you actually have a reference point about how it feels to not do it on a day-to-day basis. And you actually get to have the data to compare these two. You actually see yourself how you feel when you play video games, and you see yourself how you feel when you don't play video games and instead just go out for a run or meditate or do something healthy instead, right? And you kind of compare them and you're like, hey, you know what, bro, like, I actually feel like a bit of a loser when I'm playing video games. I actually don't really like this. And I think that the guy on YouTube or the book or whatever was actually right. Like, this is kind of hurting me. This is making my life worse. And then it's effortless. You just make the decision. And this is not something that you have to fight for. Your brain just kind of gives up. It's like, you know what, bro, like, you were right. It's just worth it. And then you kind of throw this away, you throw out the video games, and you just stick up with the healthy habits, because you just provided your brain proof that the healthy way of doing things just feels better. And that's the journey, the normal journey when quitting a bad habit or making a big change in your life. And this can apply to anything and everything, to be honest. And I have a very strong feeling that it's going to apply to my entrepreneur journey if I need to go back to work to finance my dream. I'm pretty sure that if I go back to being an employee right now, I'm gonna hate my guts for it, and I'm gonna do all that is possible to get back to working on my business. And this dynamic happens over and over and over again in all areas and facets of life. So the purpose of this video was just to let you know, bro, it's fine that you failed. Like, that is a very normal part of the process. Next time, which is gonna come pretty soon actually, don't worry about it. It's probably gonna be 1 more week or 1 more month or whatever it is. But next time you try it out, you're going to have that reference point, and you're likely to quit forever. Again, I'm not talking about addiction and like all this weird stuff. I'm not talking about drug addictions, like that's a whole different thing. But for the most part, don't worry, bro, just hop on the horse again. Hop on doing the right stuff again. And you're likely going to change for the rest of your life. Right, that's it. I'll catch you guys in a bit. Peace.